Hello everyone, welcome to another Making Monday Lovable video. And today's video, I talk about natural sciences versus social sciences. And the reason for that is I recently had a conversation here on LinkedIn that reminded me of situations and moments in my past. So I've studied biology, and then I've done my PhD here in Sweden in plant physiology. So I was always in my education surrounded by scientists, natural scientists. And then it became more and more international when I moved to Sweden. And then I also got to know like physicists, mathematicians, engineers. I also got to know some social scientists. But people that haven't even studied any of these sciences. A big part of my surrounding would be natural scientists. And there is a certain type of people become scientists. Just like certain types of people become, people that take care of elderly in older people homes. There's certain types of people that tend to gravitate towards certain types of jobs. And I've encountered many of those scientists, these natural scientists, that have not so great social skills. And they're a little bit off on that level, in these skills. I've also met theoretical physicists that are actually super social, or mathematicians. And that doesn't say that we all have our issues and our strengths and weaknesses. But a couple of times I would hear from this natural scientists, like this social sciences, like it's not real science, it's only like physics or math or biology that counts as a science. And like everything when it comes to sociology or psychology or pedagogy or whatever, history, whatever, art, it's all bullshit, that's not real science. I would never, I always thought this is complete and utter bullshit. Because if we would actually, humanity as a whole, pay a little bit more attention to the, social sciences, psychology, pedagogy, and all, like the importance of all of these subjects, then things might be a little bit different, how we handle certain things in society, in the world, in specific countries, whatever, in friends groups, for example, in the smallest, or in family settings. So I always thought this is totally ridiculous to say something like this and to elevate one science over the other and say it's better or more necessary or more needed than the other. It's not. And then last week I had a conversation on LinkedIn. And that it happened that it's not the first time that I had a conversation with that person. And already the first time that I interacted with him, it struck me a little bit off. There were certain demands and expectations put on me from the get-go, basically from a stranger. And it didn't resonate well with me. And I, was open and honest and would communicate how I would feel and perceive things. And I had another conversation last week, and again certain demands and expectations and such were put on me, and I do not like that, especially not from a stranger that I don't know, also being a scientist, that person also being a scientist. And then I was just very honest, say like I do how I perceive this, and I would explain. And then we had a conversation, and I would be presented with several types of situations that person came to and didn't understand why those social interactions would turn out that way. What he did wrong, how dare they, and there would be words like expectations and demands, and it was a certain pushiness to it. So again, I was like, it doesn't really concern me. So I said what I perceive, and I asked specific questions to find a little bit of clarity, also for that person and for myself, to just see like, okay, what's the thing here? And I was very honest, that like this appears that to me. And then I was asking questions, and then the person would say like, you know what? are we done with this? Because I don't see the point why I should actually ask myself, what is the reason that I react in a certain way to this or that? It's not my cup of tea. It's human psychology is not my cup of tea. I don't want to be bothered by it. It should be given to other people. So let's discuss another topic. And he threw a scientific topic on me. And that situation reminded me of what I told you earlier, that it's about science, and everything else like psychology is bullshit. Basically, I don't need to spend or waste my time on it. And then I was very honest that honestly, I'm not interested to discuss this scientific topic with you. I hope you find other experts, because for me, I realized I'm not interested to interact with people who don't care about psychology, social behavior, humanness, how we interact with each other, what we put out in the world, who we are as a person. I do not want to be involved in any drama of anybody that is blind towards these things. Because science is not the only thing and the holy grail and the only thing that counts, and facts and numbers and data. It's not. The only thing we all on this planet have in common is that we are human beings. We are Homo sapiens. That's the species we belong to. Each one of us is a human. Each one of us has a certain psychology, a certain psyche, I don't know the proper terminology. Each one of us has this. And when two people come together, both of these interact with each other. If one disregards that, if we disregard each other's humanness, it doesn't matter what the scientific topic is, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We cannot, in my opinion, be blind towards this. We cannot blame others for acting and reacting and doing or not doing a certain thing that we demand without reflecting, okay, why is this happening? Maybe it's actually my problem or my issue. Maybe I behave a certain way that others don't accept. So if I don't ask myself this, then it's a certain blindness and unawareness that I'm not willing to deal with. And that was something that I realized very quickly, and I was very open and honest, and it's just my boundaries and my certain settings and who I want to interact and who I don't want to interact with. And for me, this is a huge factor. If someone disregards this, us being humans and having all these things that we have as humans, then I thank you, but no thanks. I don't even wish to discuss with you anything that's scientific. I simply don't want to, because by you yourself disregarding your humanness and how you act, you disregard how other people act and are, feel, and what is their human factor that is so special and so important to take into consideration. And back in the days, I wouldn't have reacted that strictly, and I think with time it became clear to me that it's a certain thing that I wish in my interactions to be there. It's not that I demand it, I expect it. If you don't want it, don't have it. It's okay, then you're just not the person that I want to interact with, and that's fine. I'm not gonna blame you. It's just what deep down inside of me resonates most is when people actually see this humanness and this importance of social interactions and how we are, how we play with each other in each conversation we have. So yeah, that was something that I wanted to share with you today. And as usual, if you have any cool stories or thoughts on it, let me know. Otherwise, I wish you a nice Monday and a great week ahead, and talk to you next week. Bye.